How is wearing a hijab empowering? Maybe it's empowering when you have the ability to choose to wear it and not forced to wear it. Being a choice makes it empowering. If they are forced to wear it, it's oppression. Any woman anywhere should have the right to choose. And why is it that men are the ones forcing women to wear it in some cultures? To keep them modest? To keep them from looking attractive and maybe a bit sexy? Oh, to curb the desires and actions of the men from looking at them that way. How about the men wear a blindfold instead to keep their thoughts pure? Something not yet mentioned is that, in areas where Muslims are a minority, it can be an act of solidarity with fellow Muslims or an act of defiance against anti-Muslim and anti-Arab prejudice. You especially saw these kinds of sentiments in the US after 9/11, when hate crimes against Muslims was at an all-time high. Why are there no upvoted responses from women who wear hijabs? So many presumptions here, not the answers I would like to hear. If it's a choice, then it's empowering. We live in an age where there's an expectation for women to look and dress a certain way. And they're saying no to that. Hi, I'm a hijabi here. I've been wearing a hijab for over a decade now. By choice. I started wearing it at the age of 18. I find wearing a hijab is empowering in the sense that I am not being sexualized in the way I see many women feel in British society. The main purpose of hijab is not actually for it to be empowering. Muslim women do so because it brings us closer to God. Ultimately, it is not for the sake of men but for a closer relationship with my Creator. Growing up in England, I feel as though wearing a hijab also provided me with a sense of identity in solidarity with other Muslims. I feel as though I am treated with more respect and taken very seriously by my colleagues in education and the students whilst wearing a hijab. They do not focus on how I've styled my hair or what clothes I'm wearing, but rather the contributions I'm making and the lessons I am teaching. I understand that women in other countries are forced and do not have a choice, which is not how it should be. There is no compulsion in religion, and they shouldn't be forced to do so. But I believe cultural patriarchal views take precedence in those cases. I hope that answers your question. Non-hijabi Muslim here. Born and raised in the West. Egyptian dad. Ukrainian mom. Women in the West feel a constant pressure to look good. Their worth is often tied to how pretty they are. Imagine the freedom to get up in the morning, cover entire face, hair, and body, and go about your day without being ever judged on your looks. There's an old cartoon. A woman in a bikini and sunglasses walks by a woman in burqa and thinks everything but her eyes are covered. That must be terrible. Quote, meanwhile the woman in the burqa is thinking, nothing covered but her eyes. That must be terrible. Incidentally, I think this is why a certain brand of Western feminists are drawn to Islam. They see it as a way to escape sexualization and objectification. Edit to add, true empowerment is always found in choice. To my sisters in Iran, be safe and know we're with you. I personally wear it. One reason is because it's a constant reminder that there is God above me. Second, I don't equate empowerment with reducing my clothing. I equate empowerment with being seen for my mind, not my body. Doing whatever you want is empowering. I wear head covering at church, and men on Reddit have said to me I've been brainwashed by misogynistic patriarchal society. I just like wearing head covering. It's empowering if it is their choice. Especially for women living in Western cultures where wearing head covering draws attention and assumptions of them. I heard a hijabi one time say, "What is more empowering than denying men the privilege of perceiving me?" That completely changed my perspective. Wearing a headscarf gives women the power of controlling who gets to see them and how much. Edit. A word. Wearing a hijab by itself isn't empowering. It's choosing to wear one that is. Choosing to do anything is empowering, because it literally shows you have the power to do it. First, I want to point out that hijab isn't just the head cover, but it's concealing the contour of the female body along with the more attractive parts. So one of the reasons it's believed that hijab is empowering is because people can no longer objectify hijabi women in any way. That way you're treating women according to their personality and who they actually are without being consciously and or subconsciously manipulated by what a woman looks like to you. I'm an ex-Muslim woman. Muslim up until the age of 25 now. From and currently still living in a Muslim-majority country. Most of the women in Muslim-majority countries haven't chosen it themselves. Unfortunately, social pressure is enormous on women in societies like ours. And though hijab is more of a religious symbol, practice, commitment now, it is still deeply rooted in our culture of control, misogyny, toxic protectiveness, and shame. Most of the women in Muslim-majority countries haven't chosen it themselves. Unfortunately, social pressure is enormous on women in societies like ours. And though hijab is more of a religious symbol, practice, commitment now, it is still deeply rooted and intertwined with our culture of control, misogyny, toxic protectiveness, and shame. Before anyone says, religion and culture are different things. Maybe somewhere like America it is, but it's just not in our countries. It's not. The choice itself can be empowering, however, if the culture deems it necessary, then it's no longer empowering, as it's not a choice. Having the choice as to whether or not wear a hijab is what is empowering. It's about agency. It's a choice that affects nobody but yourself. Forcing this in either direction isn't liberal. Giving people more agency over their personal life is empowering. Not a Muslim, but I have been in settings where I have worn hijab by choice. My hair is very distinctive and noticeable, and honestly, sometimes it's been nice to put it away. It's hard to explain, but the first time I did so, it was really surprising how sexualized I'd felt my hair was. And how safer it felt covering it for a change. I just felt less on for a few hours. Anyway, all for choice. Have come to learn that wearing hijab can be a reasonable choice for someone. As someone who lives in Pakistan, I can tell you it's not empowering. Only Western idiots or very privileged women in Muslim countries with no concept of what it actually means think it is empowering. Short answer: it is not. Long answer: the case of hijab is vastly different from the freedom of religion. By choosing to wear a piece of garment that was designed to restrict and suppress, women are agreeing to comply with the norms that has been set by the patriarchal religion. Knowingly or unknowingly, empowered women in a hijab sounds like an oxymoron. Wearing the hijab, voluntarily, is not liberation, freedom, or empowerment, but only conforming to the oppressive religious agenda that they have been conditioned to follow.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.